bad we have a whole lineup of cars and all we've been talking about is Integra, obviously because that's the latest and greatest newest thing.
Yeah.
But we did want to touch on some of the other stuff, and right now, where'd all the cars go?
Welcome back, everyone, to All Things Acura. You were Justin.
I'm Justin. You're Matt.
I'm Matt. And welcome back to episode, is this 15?
This is 15.
Is that correct?
I know. We kind of went away for a little bit.
We're back again.
Crazy times.
Yeah, but you went through the editing phase of the last video.
Yeah, we were catching up on some Integra stuff, and Matt was on vacation, and I don't think we talked about that very much. I think you went to Disney World somewhere in there. Forever.
Yeah, but they capture you down there and they don't let you go.
So he's back.
Yeah.
The Integra's come in.
Yep.
If you haven't seen that video, it's going up. It'll be there before this one.
Are we good enough to know how to put a link? I don't know how if we can.
We'll put a link up there. It'll be up.
We'll put a link somewhere. Yeah, we drove the car. We got our kind of final thoughts on the car. For now, obviously, if you haven't had a chance to check out the car, it's a great car. We were pretty happy about it. So yeah, we just wanted to make sure we highlighted that.
Yeah, I think we were more than impressed with the car itself when we finally got to see it and drive it. And you can check it out in the video and see what it's all about. We'll have more Integra stuff as we go down the road. We felt bad we have a whole lineup of cars and all we've been talking about is Integra, obviously because that's the latest and greatest newest thing.
Yeah.
But we did want to touch on some of the other stuff, and right now, where'd all the cars go? I don't know if you can see in behind us here in the showroom, but it's empty.
Been empty for like a couple weeks.
It's been empty for a while, and things have really ground to almost. I mean, I wouldn't say a halt. We get a car every now and then, but they have really slowed down.
Right.
And so we wanted to kind of get everybody up to speed on what we know what's going on. I don't know that we know a lot. It's a fluid situation, but hopefully we've hit the bottom. I think we've said that before. But I think we found a new bottom.
I know, and that's what every time we say we're hitting the bottom, I'm like, I thought there was going to be a bottom earlier, and there's a new bottom. Just like gas prices have a new high, so it's kind of like doing a little bit of this.
Right, that's exactly it.
So
every day you think, well, this is as much as they can get, right?
Yep.
Or thereabouts. You never say never, right? Because it can always go up.
Right.
And boy, if you're listening from California, you know it's over $5 here. It's $5.09, some change, fluctuating 10-20 cents.
Yep.
But I seen $7 in California. Oh. You know, that makes our video from just a couple of months ago like extinct.
Right.
Because we weren't even thinking.
Yeah, the gas prices we were talking about then were like gas prices from 1999. So now here we are. But and that's part of the reason we talked about the Integra, because A, it was exciting that it came out, but B, we don't have anything else that we were, that was here. So that was a big part of that. So, obviously if you guys have cars on order, we know your pain. We feel it too. It's very frustrating. So
yeah, and a lot, it's a chip situation. But when you boil it all down, it's not just chips anymore. I even actually saw an article just a couple days ago that said chips are starting to become more available. Assuming that the supply chain issues get them here, because that was the other problem was that there was a truckers strike over in, I think, Taiwan. And so that's where 80% of the chips come from. And so that was, holding up the whole thing, right? So,
do you want to take a timeout?
Oh,
we paused for station identification. Come on in.
Come on in.
He's going to stand there for a while.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate that.
Pause for station identification. So
there was
the trucking shortage,
shortage, which has held up whatever trips are already produced getting here. But I think there's a lot of other supplier issues that they're having across the industry. Yeah. And so there's so many facets. Obviously, there's thousands of parts in a vehicle. It only takes one part in Acura sense, because they won't deliver a car without all the pieces of parts. Yeah. Unlike some manufacturers. So we're running into all kinds of issues, and it's really ground down. We'll tell you what we know as far as where things look, as far as terms of our end on sales, and we're way off. I mean, we're 25-30% of last year. I mean, so the number of cars coming in is drastically reduced from what it was in the past. Right?
We get that question all the time, like how many cars you guys have coming in a week. I don't even know if it's one. I mean, it might be one a week.
I mean, and to be fair to a lot of the people out there looking, a lot of those are sold already when they get here because of this delay, and this is just going to make it even, just makes it even worse because we sell farther out, and as those cars come in, they're sold, they're spoken for, they go right out the door.
Right.
All the more reason if you're out there shopping, if you find something you like and it's on the lot and it's available, waiting is not going to improve the time frame.
Yep.
And we've seen the cost of the price increases across the board go up. In fairness to everything else out there on the market, probably not that much. But
right.
Well, I can have that conversation another day. I know that they're all too much anyways, and so there's price increases. So every time we turn around, someone has a car on order, and then the cost is going up.
Yeah.
So if you find something on the ground, at least you know what it's going to cost. If you can get it, you take it, grab it, and run. Right?
Yeah, cost is going up, and not only from the mid model, but we have 23 cars coming now. I thought someone had mentioned the other day, we're not getting 23 RDXs yet.
No, we'll kind of run down through that list. We'll do that in a minute. I want to mention one other quick article that was in the news, and if you saw it or if you didn't, that's kind of wanted to bring light to it. And it said that the Integra was the last gas or ICE vehicle, which I don't like the term.
Every time I hear that,
I don't know who's talking that way. But, gasoline vehicle that Acura was going to make, and that is false. I would say false. Not likely.
Yeah.
And Acura has not announced future product, and they don't until they decide to do so. But there will probably be 1-2 more models that show up as time goes on that are regular gasoline engines.
Yeah, it's too far out to project that. We haven't seen anything that's been solid or concrete with regards to that. So again, we'll try to get the information out to people as soon as we know that. But again, that's not what we have seen.
Right, and so I guess the moral of that point is that there will be other gasoline models. It won't be just all electric from here out after the Integra.
Right, and that's a great point too. I think right now we're at this weird crossroads of people feeling like they have to jump on the electric bandwagon. I think there's a lot of people that they feel like, oh my gosh, I need to maybe get it like an electric car. But I think there's still quite I would say 5 years at least before well, hopefully, I think 2030 is an interesting cutoff.
It is. Every manufacturer is using that time of 2030 as the date, and I've seen it. Numbers all over the place, and I think I just saw one the other day from Mercedes or BMW, one of the German manufacturers that said it. Well, at least half their fleet will be electric by then. Yeah. Well, we've heard greater than that for most, right?
Yeah, Volvo and among other ones, but and I think Acura is 2025 or it probably is going to be like a 2024 kind of car when they start their production of the electric cars, and it'll probably be a slow phase. I'm guessing into that into the 2030s, which is kind of crazy to think about, but think about that. We only have one more generation. This last generation potentially of MDX potentially being a gasoline-powered car. So
and we talked about that in another video. If you want to kind of hear what we think of the future, there's been a lot of talk about it because obviously everybody wants to tell about their future plans for electric. The funny thing is, as I mentioned in that, some of the plans are so far out. I mean, who knows what can happen at this point?
It's hard to know.
So let's talk about if you wanted to get a car. What would that look like, and how would that be? Well, so as Matt mentioned, 22 RDX. We're still on 22s. We do not see anything as far as a 23 yet. So if you're looking for an RDX or you had designs on that, it's going to be a 22 as far out as almost to the end of August. June and July are going to be extremely light production. And they don't give us answers as a reason why. I just give you a heads up. That's going to be a really hard time to get your hand on RDX. Usually RDX is our number one volume as far as vehicle, and we have the least amount of RDXs on order.
Yeah, even compared to TLX.
Yeah, I'm going to put little asterisks on all these, and I'll mention the other piece of this to the end. TLX, a lot of production. If you had something on order that was supposed to come March, April, probably has been moved to end of July, August. Mm-hmm. And I know it's like, what are they doing with the summer? I think they're taking a vacation. I think
they went to Disney.
I think they went to Disneyland. Probably as long as we went away.
That's right.
At least. Because there is a huge gap with both RDX and TLX as far as Well, we have vehicles on order being produced, and now we're seeing them have August dates. If they build all the cars that they say they're going to build in August, we're going to have a ton of stuff in August.
It's funny you're saying August because I'm looking at this. It's like late August. Like
yeah,
so,
some of them
you
are.
know,
Yeah,
so
some have moved from early August to late August.
yeah. So TLX and no advanced packages, which we may have talked about. I know I'm waiting on
the advanced trim. The higher you move up the ladder is, and again, those cars take more chips. Mm-hmm. So going back to what's available, going to be very hard to get hands on an advanced model. If you come across one of those, that's what you're looking for. Buy it. Don't wait. There's nothing in the system.
Yeah.
And I've ran searches across the country for these cars, and there's nothing in the system. So if that's what you want, you found one. Don't. If you wait, you're going to be waiting a long time.
That's right.
Mostly a lot of A-spec models, and I know that's a popular trim, so that's what they're focusing on. Type S, there's a grind with Type S. We do see pockets of that. We were fortunate to get a few of those built and in just recently, but we have some more on order that are kind of dragging behind. We're already past the original production dates, which when that happens, that means there's holdups. They haven't moved them yet, but there's holdups. So that's RDX and TLX. Now on the MDX, because MDX is obviously all new, popular. Still have a ton of people. 22s are just about done. We're a week or two away from the last 22s being built. So if yours is not being built in the next couple weeks, it will be a 23 model. And we've already pushed all the way out into August and some in September on that, on MDX.
Yep.
Meaning that a lot of the earlier production, and as I look down through the sheet, there's stuff on there that was March production that is now, farther down the road. So,
well, it's all sorts of great news, Justin.
Yeah, I didn't.
What are you doing?
I know I didn't bring any good news. The other thing that we do not know, and we should have this information soon, and I'm thinking within the next 2 weeks, is we don't know what the price of the 23 is going to be.
Yeah.
And so they have not shared that with us. So that should be happening soon because they're going to start production on them.
Yeah, we've speculated anywhere from, $1,000 to $1,500 increase, but again, could be more.
Yeah, and they went heavy on the Type S, and that so they had a lot of Type S models out there for a while. Unfortunately, they swing the pendulum, and it takes months when they swing it back and forth. And so moving forward, Type S will probably be a little bit harder to get than what it was for that short period.
Yep.
Because we have a couple more on order, and then after that, there's nothing on order there. Now, with all that being said, all that bad news is Acura knows that there's a lot of holes to fill in the production gaps across the country. Some places have more, some places have nothing, some places have little. They're trying to fill earlier production spots across the country, meaning they're going to provide what they call supplemental vehicles across the country to certain areas, certain dealers. Those will be random vehicles, but there is some stuff that might pop up out of the thin air that they've already had designs on building, and instead of trying to make it an order, they're just going to supply those to the dealer and try to help the ground stock of stuff. So there probably will be more production than I'm making it out to. It's just that we can't see it. Yeah.
Right. So keep in contact with your dealer, even if you have something else on order, and one pops up and you want to take that other color maybe or something. Keep that in mind because that does happen. Yeah,
make sure that your dealer also knows if you have something on order or you want to order something, your choices. If you pigeon yourself into one option and that's what you're looking for, it's hard for them to, there's things and shifts that happen all the time. There's people that switch colors and switch vehicles and cars come in, and you want to be sure that you're next in line when something like that happens, and that way they can give you a call and
Yep, exactly. Yeah. Especially now, if you have at least two and you need to do something, or there's a lot of people who are put in a situation where they have to make some kind of decision. All right. Integra is the only. Actually, I wanted to bring up that one too because
absolutely. So let's talk a little bit about Integra because interesting. We had our first Integras come in, and then the second batch, which is really just a small handful of cars. All had late June, early July production. And then we got some more orders, but they have not put dates on those orders. So you might have an Integra order in there that the dealer has absolutely no idea. And I think they're doing that on purpose. This is probably the longest that I've seen orders sit in the system without dates, meaning that there is an order in there, but they're just not assigning dates because I don't think they know they know when they're going to have the pieces parts. I mean, it's
and the other interesting thing is, and I don't know if you knew this, but like prior to this coming, but all the automatics.
Yeah, so lots of automatics now, and again, swing the pendulum back and forth. They started with heavy manual transmissions, our demos of manual transmission, and now we have no manual transmissions left that are available on order. Now we do have some spoken for, but and now they're all CVTs. So I don't know if that's a hold up. The other thing are the different trims. So again, still heavy on the tech A-Spec, and we have a couple regular A-Specs, no regular Integras yet that we've seen or that we've been able to order. So
we might not see any this year. I mean, I'm
depending on how this goes, we might not. Which obviously the A-Spec is the more popular car, but there's probably some people that want to.
They don't want all the what the A-Spec looks like.
Yeah.
But yeah, so sorry, that's not better news. It's we're in this same boat. Obviously, we're trying to sell cars too, and when they're not here, it's frustrating. So we get it, and that's our story here on the inventory.
So there is some good news with the 23 models that are coming out, and I think a lot of people asked this in comments, so hopefully we're answering some of those questions. And we mentioned it before, but we'd like to bring it up again, is the maintenance package that's included with the 23 Integra.
Yeah.
And also Acura already kind of spilled the beans on that, letting us know that will be included on all 23 models as we move forward. And I don't know if we've seen any other literature on that, but I think they've already said that.
Oh, there's also, okay, you printed up a Q&A. This is, so the maintenance program, so all 23 model year Acura vehicles will have Acura maintenance program coverage. The program covers, and I don't know if we had this detail before. So this is, so it's 2 years. Well, I knew the 2 years, 24,000 miles, whichever comes first. The following services are included as recommended per the maintenance minder system. So engine oil and oil filter change, it says MMA and B main items, tire rotation, MM1 sub items, and other sub items are not covered. Multi-point inspection. So that's covered for the 2 years, 24,000 miles.
Yeah, so that's pretty cool. Acura's never included maintenance with any of their vehicles. That is, and I think I might have heard a blip that Honda might be following suit on their 23s as well. That follows the car. It's not the customer. So even if you sold that car after a year, maintenance goes with it, which is really cool. So that's a neat little perk on the 23 models as it come out. So if your MDX gets moved to the 23, you're probably going to get the maintenance.
And the other thing that they did was the AcuraLink. I wanted to bring that up a little bit because I thought they did make some changes to that. You just printed this out, I think, today or whatever the other day, whatever it was. I know a lot of people, I don't know how well received AcuraLink has been. I know I always try to bring it up with my clients, and I realize you have to download the app, and it sounds like an easy thing to do, and then people start doing it, and it's like, oh, it's too complicated.
So for AcuraLink is the Acura's OnStar version as well as the remote app that you use on the vehicles. If you're not familiar with what AcuraLink
every brand has some sort of similar thing nowadays, but AcuraLink allows you to download an app, which allows you to see some information on your car. So information in your car using remote services on your phone and among other things. If you haven't had a chance to use it, so basically it's really beneficial, like the 19 RDXs, 22 MDXs, I guess, and 21 TLXs and newer. So if you hadn't had a chance to even try that, definitely give it a shot, because I use it on my Honda. It's called Honda Link. It's the same thing. But for 23 model year Acuras, which I know we've been kind of saying they need to, they've been really pushing that program, and they need to kind of up it a little bit because other brands, are giving people longer terms, or it's a little less expensive, so on and so forth. So for 23 model years, they are giving you a 36-month free trial of all of them, including the concierge service.
Oh,
so
that is an added.
Did you know that?
I did not.
Okay, yeah, so all of them. So, I'm sorry, 36 months trial of the remote, and then 6 months trial on the concierge,
which
is fine. Yeah, that's the least popular one. But 36 months, so that means someone on a lease, that's covered. Yeah, I mean, that's really cool.
That is a nice little perk,
because it is still $110 per year if you want to continue the remote package, which the remote package is the one that I recommend the most, or the one that I think most people will get the benefit from. So it's 23 Acura TLX, RDX, and MDX models. It is actually only available, the remote package, on the A-Spec tech package of the Integra.
Yeah, AcuraLink is only available on that technology package with the Integra.
Right, with the Integra, and the it says the manual transmission will not have the remote start capability feature, which kind of makes sense.
We talked about that once before.
Right. I don't know if that's even possible, but I thought that was really nice to be able to. I mean, 36 months, that's awesome. There's no other brand that does that. You know, I know some of them might charge like, it'll be $75 for 3 years, but honestly, once you get through the free trial, the 3 years and then $110 per year after that, it's pretty much the same anyway. So, really cool.
See, you brought some good news.
I did. That is actually really cool news. Because I use it all the time, and I wish I could get a free trial now out of mine, but that's not going to happen.
You go back.
Yeah, go back in time.
Go back. All you do is have to get a 23.
That's right. I'll get, actually, I don't know. I have a Honda Odyssey, just so everyone knows, and I think my next Honda Odyssey could be electric. You never know.
Yep. It's looking that way.
I know, that's right.
It's looking that way.
Yep.
Whether you want it or not.
Yeah. So I thought that was really cool news for everyone. Obviously, the maintenance and the AcuraLink. So I don't know.
So two last things. If you do find any vehicles on the ground, or obviously there's still stuff out there, and there's pockets around the country that do have some cars, and I would say it's a lot. It's obviously the volume's way down, but I know we ran some different searches for different vehicles, and there are some dealers in certain places, you know, for whatever it might be, it's really lopsided. Really looked like a lot of it on the East Coast. I don't know, out west, we don't usually go that far out when we go on our searches, where certain places had some decent amount of inventory on the ground. And when I say decent, maybe they're a third of what they normally have, but in comparison to zero, which a lot of the Midwest dealers have, there's still some vehicles out there. What I want to bring to light are they have loyalty, $1,000 loyalty incentive on the ILX, remaining ILXs. If you have an Acura and you interested in remaining ILX, $1,000
that could be a great deal right now.
There are very few incentives out there on the marketplace, so that's a huge incentive on that car. And I know there aren't many of those, but we saw some dealers that had some weird numbers of them. I don't know where they found those. Too. Yeah, so that's a great deal. TLX still has $1,000 loyalty on it, and RDX now 22 has $1,000 Acura loyalty. So if you're coming out of a lease on one of those, there's $1,000 Acura loyalty, or if you just own a 2012 or newer.
12 now? Oh gosh, yeah.
They're moving 12. We got to keep moving up the years.
10 years.
And then the last one that I want to bring up, MDX has $1,000 loyalty, owner loyalty. MDX Type S, the non-advanced model, they were a little heavy on that build and that production. In other words, it outweighed probably what people actually had orders for. So some of those are on the ground out there, which is a great vehicle to scoop up. And if you're an Acura owner, you get $1,500 loyalty on that vehicle. That's a hot new model that just came out, and they're offering $1,500 just to make a quick turn on that. And there's some of those still out there at certain places. So if you find one of those, it's gonna be quite a bit cheaper than a 23, because obviously the price is gonna go up on the 23. You're not gonna have that extra money. Just throwing that out there. Again, that's what we're here to do. Just provide the news, try to give you the information we have. So there are a little bit incentives.
Yeah, a little bit of light at the end of the tunnel, maybe. You know, hopefully as we get through this summer, any incentives that you could take advantage of now, try to do that. And hopefully by the end of the summer, hopefully in 2 months' time, we're having different conversations than what we're having now. So easy, don't get choked up over. I know, it's exciting.
Well, we said that at the beginning of the year. We were super optimistic, and now it feels like we just hit a huge brick wall. We went into May and June. We're just like, oh my gosh, what happened? I mean, we were thinking we were ramping up, because a while there. And this might have been actually when we were just talking on the last couple of podcasts. We were like, we're starting to get some cars.
That's right.
We had some cars coming in. We had truckloads being delivered. And then it's like someone just flicked a switch and it dried up. And obviously there's a lot of world events going on that have driven that. You know, prices, gas is going through the roof. There's still labor shortages all over the place. So there's all kinds of hurdles that are going to make it hard. You know, if these dates hold true, the industry saying fall was the original correction time, and I wouldn't say correction. That's when, we're going to start to see some cars on the ground. There'll start to be some availability. We won't be out as far. Hopefully that holds true.
Yeah, absolutely. And again, best of luck to anyone who is in the process of ordering or trying to buy one. We know it's difficult, and stick with it. It'll come, and hopefully you're not in a position where you have to do something. I know that's not the easiest situation, but
right. And this isn't to just Acura either. I mean, across the brands, we have several different brands here, and everybody's in the same boat. Speaking of Honda, just because they're our sister store right next door, but we have other brands as well. But Honda Civic is probably as hard and as thin to get as Integra, and on any given time, they probably will build 10-to-1 Civics to Integras, right? So that just shows you the problems that the supply chain has caused. And,
Subaru can't get any Foresters. Those are the ones built in Japan, kind of thing. I mean, we see it, and so we get it. And again, hopefully in the next few episodes, we have some different news, maybe more positive news that we can spin to you guys.
Yeah, and we'll keep you posted on what we know and what we know about future product. And please, questions, comments. Let us know what you want to know about, what we can share with you. There are some things that we're going to catch up on, just general stuff that we just
right,
we kind of haven't had a chance to even get to. And we'll talk more about the Integra as time goes on.
Yeah, so. Lots of good comments, lots of good questions. We'll get to those next time. Thank you everyone for listening and or watching. Appreciate it.
Yeah, make sure you check out that video. We'll put the link.
It'll be somewhere. Depending on what camera you're
right.
We got all sorts of cameras now. This is a high quality production now.
Whoa.
Thanks again, everyone.
Appreciate it. We'll catch you next time.
Yep.